Hey Vikings fans, what is up and welcome to a brand new episode of SIBZ, West Coast, East Coast Siblings. I know it's been a while and I missed last week's episode. I had a family member pass away New Year's Eve night, and it has been one of the probably the most difficult thing that I've ever had to go through. So thank you guys so much for being so patient and understanding. Honestly, it was really difficult for me to get back in front of the camera and start back up with the TV shows. I knew that I had to do something. Like I had to get my mind doing something productive in order for me to continue. So Sydney and I will be making a video with more information on that. So if you guys would like to find out more, click the bell. But let's get into the two episodes, episode 5 and 6 of Vikings. So I'm going to put a time code down in the description below. If you've already seen episode 5 and you want to move to episode 6, the time for that will be down in the description. But with that, let's jump into episode 5. And this time I actually have 5 big takeaways for the episode. So let's dive right in. So number 1, we have more foreshadowing of Lagertha's death, as we have her preparing with other shield maidens for a second attack by the bandits who were banished by Bjorn way back in like episode 1. So Lagertha's death has really been foreshadowed since the beginning of this season, and some would argue even before that. So I really wouldn't expect it to be too much longer until we see that fruition. Again, I hope that I'm wrong, but honestly, they don't foreshadow these kind of things without following through on them. Takeaway number 2, Vitzerk is still losing his mind. He continues to go down this path to insanity. This time, most notably, he sees a ghost of his wife who is now telling him that Ivar is the reason that she was killed and that he needs to swear on his royal bracelet or whatever that he will not rest until he kills Ivar the Boneless. A little later in the episode, we actually see this black snake type demon of the night creature with Ivar's face that's been tormenting him, and so it is in his mind he's going to face his fears at some point and kill this creature, if not the real Ivar. Now speaking of Ivar, let's talk about takeaway number 3, as Ivar is definitely now fully committed to overthrowing Oleg and his kingdom and taking over the attack on Kattegat. Ivar has been sowing seeds of loyalty in different characters, and in this episode in particular he enlists the help of Igor in order to free Deer. In previous episodes, Ivar made a deal with Deer that if he freed him from his cage, that Deer would help him overthrow Oleg. Now, I've said this in episodes before, I am still very skeptical of Deer's true allegiance. He very much may believe that his brother is a prophet, as he was able to guess who his wife was, and he may just want to get in Oleg's good graces, and what better way to do that than to bring this traitor Ivar right before Oleg. But to be honest, I already think that Oleg is aware or privy at least to Ivar's plans, to the point where it wouldn't be very realistic if he was completely caught off guard by Ivar's attempt eventually to overthrow him. Okay, now getting into takeaway number 4, which is kind of like a B-section to takeaway number 3. Hello guys, we're introduced, or I guess reintroduced or semi-introduced, to this character named Katya. But she's actually Freydis, the wife that Ivar kills. So he's definitely seen a ghost, and Igor actually points that out. I have no idea what this could be. Is she just the same actress playing a new character? Was she somehow resurrected? Does she have any recollection of who she used to be? Her hair is brunette now as opposed to blonde. But yeah, I have no idea if this is going to lead into something bigger. Does Freydis want to kill Ivar? Or I guess Katya, does she have any ill will toward him? I guess we'll have to wait until episode 6 or later in order to find out, as Katya is set to marry Oleg now. And finally, big takeaway number 5, we have the vote beginning. King Olaf's vote, big vote for the king of all Norway, and there are several different people who are set to be king, or I guess up for the running, but obviously you have King Harald and Bjorn, so it's really a competition between those two. So this vote is underway. I really can't see it just being that easy that Bjorn would just win the vote. Something's gonna be fishy, something's gonna happen. But we'll have to wait until at least the next episode in order to find that out. But those are the biggest takeaways for episode 5. Leave your comments down below. I'd love to discuss them with you. But from that, if you haven't seen episode 6, stop the video right now and let's move on into episode 6. Now, episode 6 was huge. It actually felt like a mid-season finale, but there are actually like 3 more episodes. We had big, huge things happening, and so we're going to talk about the 3 biggest takeaways from the episode. But takeaway number 1, kind of segueing off of episode 5 if you're watching them both, we have the marriage of Oleg and Katya, who who is Freydis. Now, as I said just a few minutes ago, Oleg is pretty privy to the fact that Ivar is trying to possibly overthrow him, or at least he's aware that there's some tension there, and so it seems like he's doing everything he can to just irk him. In this episode, he actually makes love to Freydis right in front of Ivar in order to just irk him. We know that they were married at one point. Maybe Ivar still has some feelings, and this just went to provoke him even more. At this point, he's not only mentally committed to overthrowing Oleg, but now emotionally he's committed. What Oleg just did, all bets are off. This definitely got him so infuriated that when he does take over Oleg, instead of sparing his life, if he gets the chance, he most definitely will kill him. This will be a crime of passion. And we know from the previous episodes, he's already planted the seeds of rebellion with Igor and with Deer. Now, we're not too sure where Deer's real allegiance lies, but assuming that it's with Ivar, we're definitely going to see those two characters come into play as Ivar goes to kill this guy, Oleg. So big takeaway number 2, we have Bjorn losing the vote to be king of all Norway. So King Olaf sets up this entire vote. The kings and queens of the area take their votes. It was assumed that Bjorn was going to win, but we find out later in the episode King Harald works some kind of magic trickery, bribes people, Flatnose in particular, in order to secure his victory. And now King Harald is the king of all of Norway. But this is what I don't get, guys. He then tries to assassinate Bjorn. Now, of course, Bjorn is not the type to take the loss laying down, and maybe he was just trying to tie up that loose end so Bjorn wouldn't come after him later or try to sow seeds of rebellion, etc. But it just doesn't make sense that on the night that you win and you've got the entire kingdom seemingly pretty happy about your election, you're going to go try to assassinate Bjorn Ironside, who, although he didn't win, still has a strong following. There are likely plenty Bjorn Ironside supporters right there, and it may turn into a bigger fight than you probably anticipated. So I'm not sure what he was thinking, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see how that all shakes out. Bjorn obviously escapes, and he's okay. And finally, guys, big takeaway number 3, the big one. It's been foreshadowed since episode 1 and possibly before. Lagertha has officially died. She was killed, as the prophecy said, by a son of Ragnar. We have Vitzer going insane, chasing after Ivar, that black snake demon of the night thing. And during his hallucination, he doesn't realize that that snake is Lagertha, and he brutally kills her. Now, let's be honest, she was already dying, and she probably would have died from her mortal wounds from defending her home against the bandits, but she then goes and travels to see Bjorn one more time, probably before she dies, and that's when Vitzer hallucinates and ends up stabbing her to death. But yeah, guys, this is a huge moment. Lagertha is definitely top 2 characters ever for this show. I mean, she's really been there since day 1. So guys, let me know all of your favorite Lagertha moments from the past 5 seasons or even season 6. Sad to see her go, especially so early, guys. We're in episode 6 of a 20 episode season, and she's been there from day 1. So I expected to see her go in the mid-season finale at the earliest, even though this episode did feel like a mid-season finale. And last thing, because this is just gonna eat me up, Bjorn has got to feel so guilty about this. This is his mother, and he sends these bandits out into this land. And again, we've been talking about it since it happened, episode like 2 or whatever. How do you not think that they're going to meet at some point? The bandits and your mother, who has buried her sword, is living out there with no protection, no security detail, really. Did you really not see this happening? You don't think that those bandits would want to maybe get even with you or take their revenge by maybe finding out about where your mother lives? Dude, like, the lack of foresight. And honestly, yeah, Bjorn lost the vote for king, but if this is how he's thinking and these are the kind of decisions he makes, I'm glad that they did not write in that he became king, because a wise king, I don't think he'd be. But anyway, guys, those are going to be the biggest 3 takeaways from episode 6. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, like this video if you like this video. Subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss a single upload as we cover Vikings and a whole bunch of other content. Check out our sister channel, the Lataquente Ledger. That'll be linked down in the description below. I'll also be getting back to Sea of Music. And again, for more information on why we've taken such a big break, Sydney and I will be out with a video very soon, kind of explaining what's going on and how we'll be moving forward with the channel in the future. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.